Conway, family. He made it fine, but I think he also probably.
There it is. I get a warning just to share.
And I think
We're not done by 4:30. I'm going to see you
probably did not.
4:35. No, I'm not trying to tell you to be done by 4:30. I need to go.
So I just think that.
Well, good point.
He probably.
Where is
that would go away. I don't think that.
That's Magic Ball. Yep. This was very well.
Oh,
I was up there.
No, that's all right.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I mean, things get.
That's all right, because what's going to take up our time is the public hearing. I mean, the public comment.
Right, on the 8th of East. Right, which is going to be more towards the beginning.
Only one person. Kelly rise to the flag, please.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I just want to recognize that today is Constitution Day. It's the day that the Constitution was ratified in 1781, I believe.
1791.
Which Constitution we
talking
about? The United States Constitution.
Okay. 1789.
1789.
I think.
No. Anyway. What's it is?
Sometime around then. Quite a while ago.
It's on order. Minutes. Resolution 25-150. Accept the minutes of September 3rd, 2025.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? To go. Thank you. Public comment. To allow members of the public to comment or reserve time to speak on upcoming agenda item. Is there any member of the public who wishes to speak at this time or reserve time on an agenda item?
So, Mr. Chairman, I wanted to take this time to maybe enter in some of the comments that we received regarding access to ATVs traffic on Moxie Lake Road in the Forks. It is not an agenda item, nor have the commissioners been asked or petitioned, but from what we hear coming out of the Forks, and Dave can speak to this a little bit, it seems like it's headed your way. So we wanted to just make you aware. In your packets there, I think you received a copy of the email that Commissioner Cezak received with concerns about ATV traffic. And then earlier today, Dave provided me with two emails that had come from folks who are speaking in favor of this. And so I'll let you read those emails at your leisure. But I imagine that there are other people here that would like to speak to this. So if that's acceptable, would you like to hear from other residents at this time?
If there are people here who want to speak to that at this time, this is why we have our public comment session.
Can I, before we do that, can I just ask for some clarification? And that it has are they called the assessors of Forks? They're not technically selectmen. Right. Have they taken action on this?
They had a vote last night, which I have not heard the results of yet, but I think it was 2-1
for opening the road to ATV access.
They own, or are responsible for, and own a mile of each end of the road. Road kind of forms a loop that goes to the north. The middle section is the county. We have 3.17 miles, and included in your packets is a map of the Lake Moxie Road. And I wanted to show you that one of the sections is very congested. Everybody's close to the road. It's called the village section. So any amount of noise these ATVs are making, you've got people's residences very close to the road. There's only one business that is in the Moxie Gore section, the UT section, and it has direct access to the ATV trail system. Mm-hmm. So there's really no benefits for them if we allow them on the road. We do allow couple hundred yards of access from Seamoxigore Outfitters down to the falls. They used to run the side of the road. They chewed up the shoulders quite a bit. So we allowed them to run on the main travel section of the road just where the falls parking lot is, about 100, 200 yards.
Okay, I wasn't asking about the merits of the question. I just wanted to know whether procedurally it's going to be before us, because it seems to me
Yes,
that
it's a county road. So we have.
if the town isn't going to, if the town is approved their end of it, then it's coming to us. But if, as I understand it, if the town voted against it, it wouldn't be coming to us. So that's the only reason for asking the question. That's equally.
Yes, sir, in the back.
Yep, sorry for my lateness. I had to run back to the vehicle and put my sidearm away. I forgot where I was heading today with that. But I am one of the assessors for the Forks Plantation. I do have for submission a formal letter about our vote last night and the polling we held previously for the town. I can submit that now or read it for the record. Or
Was that a well-attended meeting?
yes, it was, sir. Yep, we are a community of about 40 after the recent deceased, about 40. Residents, voting residents. We had over 30 people in attendance, 21 of which were legal voting residents of the Forks.
Was it a close call? I mean, you didn't take a vote. It's your call, but I'm wondering.
Right. Admittedly, prior to the meeting, we had the understanding that we could afford the community, the town residents, the decision on this. We consulted MMA, and they informed us that ultimately it's a non-delegable authority. We still felt strongly that we wanted to poll the town residents, and none myself or the other two assessors would ever make a decision like this without doing so. So we held a poll, a straw poll at the end, and as written in this, that vote was 14-5 in favor. It was a good, well-attended, robust meeting. It was about 2 hours long, and many folks had opportunity to speak on many occasions, and we had a variety of opinion on it, for it and against it.
Are there camp owners on the? I don't mean to kind of take over.
This is
I
really,
usually do, but sorry.
Commissioner, this is really kind of a public comment period.
Yep.
Since there's nothing on the agenda to vote on, I would suggest you take the public comment and then maybe create a process for how you want to hear this, and then put it on the agenda for a future meeting. So, can you tell me your name again?
My name is Justin Stimson, third assessor for the Forks Plantation.
I'll take
I can give that to you.
There you go. Thank you. Yep. This gentleman here also wants to speak to this.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matthew Preswell, resident of the Forks Plantation. I've been in the area just over 60 years, and I've been there for 40 years. So the main, and I'm here to represent residents and non-residents that are objecting the proposal to open the road, mainly for safety reasons and concerns for the immediate residents, the general public, and the amount of vacationers and out-of-staters we get. The main goal, from what I heard during the town's meeting and the reasoning to propose opening the 5.5 mile stretch, Mr. Justin Stimson took it upon himself at his place of business, the Hawk's Nest, to kind of, I guess, do a tally or take some notes of ATV riders coming in that were saying the trail system in the Forks and West Forks, there's I think about a 2 mile stretch that is rough, and ATV and UTVers cannot get into town fast enough. The main word is fast enough. So they want to open the road to ATVers can get into town fast enough and to get to the local businesses. With the idea of creating and growing local outside traffic to the local community to help the small businesses in town, which would be great. However, opening the road to that creates many safety concerns. There is a lot of rafting companies in the area that have busloads of guests, paying guests. They could be 30 up to whatever the seating capacity is. So I would like to just explain, in the event of a catastrophic event, a bus has to swerve for an ATV or vice versa and ends up in the ditch. Now you have a rafting company a local rafting company that's liable for X amount of passengers. What is going to be the response time to the Forks EMS system? Is it a minute? Is it going to be 10 minutes? And being there is limited staff that are all just on call via walkie-talkie, to my understanding, I was told directly by the chief there that they would not be able to support any type of catastrophic event of a multi-unit pileup or in the event of a multi-vehicle incident. So that's something to take into consideration. In regards to who showed up to the town meeting that evening, it was a very special interest invite. I don't know how people from Madison and Bingham, specifically trail masters, were invited personally. I don't know by exactly who, but to this meeting. Mr. Justin Simpson was also in a Facebook group chat that was created by I don't believe he's a full-time resident, but he owns a business in the Forks. They took it upon themselves to create a specialized Facebook group for those all in favor of opening the road. I did ask Justin Simpson here if I could be, or why I wasn't invited to the group. He said you could ask the originator of the Facebook group specifically. But the whole purpose of the Facebook group was to get as many people rallied up and together to help push this one-sided agenda, which stemmed from, to my understanding, Mr. Justin behind me. I've worked with 19 or 20 other residents and non-residents of the West Forks that own homes or camps in and around the area. So we do have 21 signatures here to provide for you today of those that are petitioning to protect the safety of the Forks Plantation and all the visitors. The goal that I do is to drive business, and why I do that, ATVs are recommended vehicles. We have rail systems those ATVs to operate ethically and have trails. Maine heard at the meeting is that the Forks or the ATV Club doesn't have enough money to fix that 2 or 3 miles of trail system. Could they fix it? They could. I want to give you one example. Yesterday I was able to raise, did not accept it, but through connections I was able to raise $5,000 of businesses that would be willing to donate towards the ATV, UTV, and snowmobile club to fix that section of trail. I was able to get another business to allocate 3 of their full-time employees and 3 pieces of commercial equipment to help fix that section of trail. And the third business that I contacted was willing to donate time and material mat logs to help help that section of trail specifically, because the main concern is that I heard at the meeting, there's large boulders and ATVs and UTVs can't go fast enough through that section of trail. And it gets washed out every year just due to the grade and decline or inhill climb, depending on where you are. So that's really all I have, and I can provide these 2 pieces of documents for you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody from the public who wishes to speak at this time? Seeing none, I will close the public comment section. And we will go on to our workshop, discuss road contracts in the unorganized territory.
Well, before we do that, so where are we leaving this thing?
Oh,
I'm asking you, Tim. But thank you for your participation.
Right. No, I think what you've received, both in person and in writing, is some pretty good arguments for both sides. So now, at this point, to my knowledge, the county does not have a formalized process to open roads to ATV access. However, the state of Maine does. And so I looked up and I talked with Matt Foster from the State Department of Conservation, and he provided me with some information I think you have in front of you there. Basically an application that the state uses and the criteria that they use, including line of sight, speed, all of that thing, for how much of the road is going to be accessed. So I took the liberty this afternoon of drafting up a county Somerset County application for ATV access route permission. And this is based in statute. You, as the overseers of the unorganized territory, you are the one that people come to for this, according to Title 12. And this is kind of based off the state's application, but it's very simple. I would presume that the entity making a request here is not the town of the Forks. The entity is the ATV club that has jurisdiction over this area. So do you know what ATV club has?
I do. It's the Forks Area Trail Club. Trailmaster is Benjamin Toll.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So I would presume, just so everybody's on the same page, if you want to do it this way, you would have that Trailmaster send you a letter saying, we would like to have this, and he can certainly make reference to the summary of that meeting that you provided. And so that would be the impetus for you to take action on it, that the Trail Club has asked for this. So again, in this application, and I'm assuming the Trail Clubs have done this with the state, so they're familiar with it. The club has to be authorized through the Department of Agriculture, Conservation, and Forestry. And the trails that they're coming off of and going to have to be authorized ATV trails. And then there's just simple information about what portion of county road you're wanting to access, what township is it in, and the distance that you're looking for. And then I would recommend that as the commissioners that you modify or take a look at the criteria that the state uses. And again, I provided that for you via email. I don't know if I put it on your desk today, but I can certainly get you that. So if that's something that the way you want to take it from here is that you ask for an official request from the ATV club, and then you utilize the criteria to make a decision, then that would be a workshop with a resolution. So,
Well, I would think that we'd have a workshop for the development of the application.
okay.
If an ATV club wants to present to us, then that would be up to them to do. We wouldn't go out and seek them out.
No, I agree.
So,
Right.
it's,
Well, clearly it's up to us. If some appropriate club wants to ask for that. We've done this in the past. We did this on the Bingham Bridge not too long ago, and the Pleasant Ridge issue. But it just seems, my personal sort of approach to this would be, as a commissioner, would be, first of all, my experience is most people that live on the roads with camps do not like ATV access in front of their house. And I think it's very important that whatever hearing we have here, that we give notice to each and every camp owner and resident in the area, because they're the ones upon whom the burden falls on this thing. I also think, and I think I discussed this with you earlier, do you think we can get, they probably won't do it, but if the state could sort of pretend for a minute that this is their road and they could do a workup, I'd be sort of interested to see how the state would respond to this request if that was a state road. The other things I just think we should get as many people here that have sort of a stake in this issue at the hearing and make sure that we give them notice and not act without their input. I think that's very important. I have a whole bunch of questions which we can deal with later, obviously. But, there is this little thought that keeps creeping into the back of my mind, though. I might as well say it now. We give tons of money to recreational nonprofit clubs in the UT and in towns that are directly associated with the UT. Maybe we can just solve this problem by helping fund repairs to the existing ATV trail, and everyone's happy. What's the matter with that? I'm just throwing that out there. We give $200,000 for a groomer. Why can't we fix this trail or help out in some way to avoid this contentious issue that's coming up? Just saying.
So my understanding that the kind of the consensus of the commissioners is to workshop the application, or do you not even want to bother with an application and just continue to take it case by case?
I think we should workshop the application so they'll have a more open assessment of the criteria that goes behind it.
I guess I'm not following. So I assume we're going to have, is the workshop is going to be the same as the public hearing with people coming in and expressing their views?
Not necessarily, no.
But what is there to workshop? If somebody comes in with a valid and straightforward petition saying, you know, well, that is right for...
Except there is no application for a petition, that's
That
what we want to make sure
what we wanted to do is go.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it seems pretty straightforward.
yeah, I mean, if they just send you a letter saying we want to do this, that needs to put the matter in front of us. They don't have to. I don't think it's up to us to create some arcane procedure which they will have a hard time navigating. I mean, it's not a. I guess what I'm saying is it's not a big issue to get this issue in front of us. The big issue is what are we doing? And that's not really a workshop. That's a public hearing followed by a decision. And that's where I think we need to get public input and input from the state and anybody else that wants to offer something. I don't think we need to workshop the petition.
So for the benefit of the people that came to the meeting here, what's your time frame? Because your next meeting is October 1st. After that, it's the 15th. What do you think your time frame for taking up this issue would be, assuming you're going to get a request to open it up? And what is your time frame? Are you looking for this to happen this fall or next year?
So we've written the proposal as for the a probationary period for the 2026 ATV season. So just a trial period, so to speak.
So there doesn't seem to be a rush for an answer from the Forks. What is your pleasure? How do you want to proceed?
Well, I just assume proceed with a workshop that deals with the application, so that there is a formal way of proceeding without just
Yeah, but we didn't
flying by the seat. We didn't do it in the past, but there's no sense in not being more professional as we grow.
Okay, I just would disagree. I think
The other
if the club
problem
sends
I
a
have-
letter saying we want to do this, that's enough to get it in front of us.
Right, but what's the criteria you're going to use to make your decision?
That's
Whoever makes the strongest argument from the floor?
Yeah,
Or do you-
like
or do you
anything
have a
else.
set- Or do you have a set of criteria? Because this is not the last one. There's more coming.
I think
And this is basically the mirror image of what the state does.
That's pretty much
Not
it.
that I would like
Except
to
the
mirror
state
image
has
the does.
criteria.
It's a little more concise.
okay, so maybe I'm getting confused. So this workshop would be we're going to develop our own set of criteria.
Right.
Okay,
And we can get state input and that sort of thing. I would,
is that an exhaustive list? What if we think of something new?
and I apologize, I don't have it right here in front of you. It's about a page long. So from the state, and I can.
I have it. I read it. I downloaded it. Okay. And some of it I don't understand, like sight lines and so forth. I also went up there and drove the road and spoke to a number of residents, so I feel like I'm fairly familiar with the issue.
Right.
So, I mean, it seems to me criteria would be public need, ups and downs, pros and cons. I mean, it's just how we make a decision. I don't think we need a formal sort of.
Well, one of the criteria that's not mentioned in the state is liabilities, and that's one thing I'd like to explore would be the legal liability. If somebody does go off the road or there's an accident, what happens?
See, I would be in favor of creating a form, so be it, that actually helps the resident know what should be provided for us to make the best decision.
Exactly.
Not everybody knows,
Right.
So
Yeah.
we should help them provide the information that we need.
Exactly right. So we'll do a workshop on the first.
Okay.
And now, speaking of workshop,
Dave, so on this map, at some point, that won't be yet, but on this map, could you overlay where the trail is, where the trailhead is, where it would come onto the road, that sort of thing?
I could
Just so
add-
we have a visual.
I could add the ATV trail that exists now.
I'm trying to pull it up on Onyx, but that trail's not. Okay.
I should be able to get that trail.
All right. Thanks.
yes, sir.
Just a question, if we're still open to public comment, because I've got a appointment at the hospital for a prenatal appointment at work, so I may have to leave early. I'm fairly close with Ben Toll, and he regrets that he couldn't be here today. I expressed to him that I thought this was probably going to be discussion only, and that something like this would play out, that there would be further discussion and workshopping and voting at a future date. So he anticipates being a part of this process. I encourage you to know that he's going to be a part of it. What should I tell him and others who are interested in this that want to have their voice heard? Just to keep an eye on the agendas and see when their voice would be beneficial, or our due date is on October 15th, believe it or not, so I probably won't be at that meeting, but other folks may wish to be.
And it wouldn't be up for that discussion at that meeting anyway, because we're
just doing the work.
the process first.
Right, we have to do the process first.
I would recommend Ben get with Dave
I agree.
and share some emails and maybe make an official request.
I've talked with Dustin. I think he's trying to get a petition.
Not me. I've tried hard. I've tried hard to be informative as I can, but also be a little bit hands off on.
To do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben. There's also just not necessarily retort, but there's also folks from that village section that came to the meeting and were quite in favor of this for their own purpose of access to town and access without having a trailer, even though they live right there. So I don't know. I don't know who is going to be or is currently the genesis of a petition, but I anticipate that there would be a petition in favor of it that seems to be circulating currently.
And just not to belabor this, do you have the mailing addresses of all those properties on that map?
I do.
That would be great.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, again,
Thank you.
workshop, discuss road contracts in the unorganized territory.
We have 3 that are coming due next season. We're all set for this upcoming winter, but we have 3 that expire in June, so we have to go out. And we're in 3 different situations. One is a 3-year contract. Well, actually, it's a 5-year contract, but we were set price for 3 years. We need to negotiate the final 2 years. That's the way that contract is specified. Another contract is a 5-year contract that ends in June, and we would like to negotiate that one. That's up to Rockwood. There's pretty much one contractor up there that does road work like that. So Phil would be willing to negotiate with Dennis Freelon, Rockwood Excavation, to work on a new contract. And the other one is in Lexington, and I think we have multiple bidders. So I think we would go out to an RFP for the Lexington contract. So kind of like 3 different situations.
Mm-hmm.
So are you looking for a consensus approval to move forward with that?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we're voting on the RFP later in this meeting. That's the Lex contract. And we're looking for permission to negotiate with the other 2. One which is specified in the contract, and one would be just negotiating a new contract.
Are there any more contractors interested in bidding on that?
In Rockwood, I don't think there's anybody else up there to do it.
I just have the sense we're lucky that we can get anybody, so I don't think we can be too
We
picky.
had trouble getting the Lake Moxie Road, which we're discussing with the ATV.
Yeah.
We finally got someone to do it, both us and the Forks, and let's just say it's the cost per mile is above average. So yeah, it's rough to get bids for using stuff.
And what do you attribute it to? Is that just because there are fewer people with equipment up there that want to run it? They're all dying off, or population is decreasing, and
The population is aging. You've got a lot higher retirement, and you don't have a lot of people that... They do a lot of private work. There's a lot of contractors doing, cement pads, building new houses. They're not camps anymore. They're basically houses. So you get everybody tied up in that type of development. There's not a lot of road activity. Dennis does road activity for just about everybody up there. not just for the county, but for Warehouser on the Beamer Road, and he also does a lot of private roads for camp associations also. So, you know, he's the go-to guy for that type of work.
Am I allowed to say anything?
Okay.
No.
Up to our chairman.
I did not see a resolution here for.
There's a resolution on the RFP, but this is just
there it is,
asking
yeah.
for permission to do the negotiation.
So if the commissioners are okay with just negotiating those last 2 years of the 5-year contracts, then there doesn't need to be a resolution. But if you want to put that one from Lexington out for RFP, that's why that's on.
That's why that's on there. I don't think that renegotiating that portion of the contract is already a contract with that built in. So that's just part and
Yeah,
parcel.
that one's just accepted.
Yeah.
It's in the existing contract.
Right. So that's.
I just want to let you know that we had kind of 3 different situations.
Yeah. No, we appreciate that, and we'll vote on the RFP when we get to that.
Yeah. So, for the Rockwood contract, we can negotiate with
Yeah.
Rockwood Excavation then.
Excuse me.
Did somebody want to say something?
Just in regards to the Forks contractors, I just wanted to.
Oh,
Are you a Forks contractor?
For the next contract?
Yes, I do have one company that would be interested, willing to help. The company that I was referencing earlier when I had my opening statement.
Okay, that contract will be up in 26. No, 27. So we're not discussing that contract right now. So the contract he's saying may have another bidder for won't be this fall, it'll be a year from now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Very good. Open the RFP for the jail work truck. LA.
Should be that one envelope in front of
The
you.
one envelope. All right. I'll try not to cut my finger, slip my wrist, or any of that other.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't give you a sharp off.
Oh no, you don't want to do that.
He knew it was going to the overnight.
All these sharp minds right here.
Tim, I think we need an official county bid opening device.
I have a couple of my people.
And I forgot
Tearing it open.
We should hire somebody to do it.
Okay, official bid. Bidder's name is Chris Dickey. We've got a Ford F-450 2026, including plow. It is $95,450 minus the trade-in for the 2016 GMC Sierra pickup truck. And it says including plow, but I don't know if that means he's including the plow with the Ford or with the pickup, the GMC.
The trade-in that doesn't have a plow. The F-450 has a specific plow.
Okay. So that probably needs
Is there a company involved with that?
it just says at this point, Chris Dickey. And
Well, who's this from?
the total bid is
No?
$85,450. Let me keep on going through all this quickly. There's an optional extended warranty for $4,855. And this company's name is Height Ford, Madison Avenue, Skowhegan.
So I assume it was a 95,450 less 10,000.
Yes, I read that
I missed that part too.
for $85,450.
85,450. What'd you tell me?
We have reserved Friday.
That's right.
So that's the only bid.
This is the only bid,
So it's Height Ford.
Height Ford.
This is the dual wheel dump truck type.
So this is a large chassis, large engine 450 with a dump body and a plow to be utilized on-site for maintaining. Because of course we don't hire anybody to plow the jail, we do all that stuff. And it's one of the few chassis that has an aluminum body, which was significant for the amount of sand and salt we had.
Now, in with this bid is the optional extended warranty of $4,855.
What does that extend out to?
It is, extends mileage 75,000, duration 8 years.
What is the warranty that comes with the vehicle?
I don't know.
3 years, 36,000.
Oh, we don't have 36,000, never happened.
Right.
And not to use.
Right.
Unless they do Patrick's doing it.
Or
I
David.
think the vehicle that we traded in had less than 60,000 miles on it, but it was rusted out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do not need this.
No, I'll discuss it with Chief Mitchell, but I don't think so. We appreciate the offer from I-4.
Yeah, all right, yeah, of course. All right.
Well, I will say that some of the new vehicles that have these large computer arrays that go haywire for no apparent reason, and then you have to replace them, and it's thousands of dollars that you...
Yeah.
Sadly, though, knowing car manufacturers the way I do, a lot of those electronic components are not covered under extended warranties. Maybe a powertrain.
Yeah.
Well, so we're going to vote on this later, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Actually, there's one other thing. There is a press release that we have before us. I don't know if you had a chance to read it. For the Somerset County voters to decide future of Register of Deeds position. We have this
Thank you,
letter.
gentlemen. I appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming. I think it's a good press release, and I think we should give it to our member of the press that's here and have them printed once a week for the next whatever.
Is that a consensus?
I think that's a
I think it was
consensus.
close.
So moved.
All right, very good. We got that.
These stories now? Yes. It's the only way we can control the network. He asked me for a press release. I asked them for a press release. If so, fact.
Well, maybe stop paying him then if you're going to do it.
He's not on the payroll.
Not yet.
But is he on the payroll?
We can't.
He runs every department.
Okay. Moving along.
Finally, yeah.
There's no public hearings. There's no any new agenda items from the commissioners. Seeing none. The administrator report.
Yeah, there's a couple things to talk about here. So, Kennebec Valley Council of Governments has made a hire for a regional code officer. So they have a fully certified code officer at their disposal, and they met with about 6 Somerset towns. Now, the good and bad of that is the code officer that applied for the job and was hired was serving the town of Madison, and so in a full-time capacity. So Madison has to figure some things out, but they're going to continue to utilize that code officer through KVCOG until they find another one. The goal of the program was to help towns with a population of less than 4,000 have access. So they have 6 and maybe 2 more coming online. So that program seems to be heading in the right direction where towns will pay into it to make it sustainable. Right? So the county commissioners gave a $15,000 community benefit grant to this program, and I'm pleased to say that was used to purchase the subscriptions to a single point software that all these different towns can use to provide permits online or in person for the permitting process. And the information stays within each town, but it syncs with the assessor's office. It provides documents and photos. The town of Skowhegan has used it for several years, and it is a very good tool. So that is where your community benefit money went, is to provide that tool for the towns in Somerset. So pleased to report that. Dave and I had the pleasure of going to beautiful Lockwood last Wednesday night, and we had a great time with about 100 people who came in mad and they left mad. And so this was the informational meeting that Representative Caruso had put together concerning the property taxes in the UT. We had good representation from Maine Revenue Services. 3 people there. Chip Jones was there, the state UT administrator. There was a lot of good information shared about how these tax bills are created. Unfortunately, the people just were frustrated with their, just like everybody in Lakewood and everybody in Emden, as those shorefront properties have gone up. And what's interesting is I keep hearing this phrase, you're taxing us on unrealized gain, right? So if I have a property, right, that I have no intention of selling, because it's been in my family for years, and my neighbor sells his property for $500,000, you raise my valuation, and so you're taxing me on unrealized gain. And that came up back and forth and back and forth, and so someone actually raised their fist and said, what do we do about it? To which you say, well, you have to find 2/3 of the legislature that agrees with you to change the state constitution, because that is not how taxes are assessed. Again, that kind of fueled the pitchforks and the torches. and luckily, we were right next to the Rockwood Bar and Grill, and so everything seemed to work out afterwards. For the most part, people weren't happy because those weren't the answers they wanted to hear. Those people that did have specific concerns about the way their tax bill looked, they could talk right to Maine Revenue right there, and several people did after the meeting. They lined right up and made appointments to try to have Maine Revenue correct whatever may have been done in error. So I can't speak for everyone, but I don't suspect you're going to get a lot of abatement requests, because Maine Revenue seems to be pretty reasonable at taking a look at some errors that they made, and I don't think they're going to funnel very many back here.
We saw that for a candidate, and they're not willing to work with anybody.
Well, they are after we took care of them.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll see. We'll see what comes of it in the UT. So I got a call this week from the fire department in Moose River and Jackman, and they are looking to purchase 2 used fire trucks. So not brand new, but they want something upgrade what they have, and what they have is from the 80s. And so they'd like to get a new engine and a new pumper tanker. So they have some money set aside, and they would like to come make a presentation to you as commissioners to see if you might be able to help them financially with these purchases. 50% of their call volume is the UT. And so expect that on the future agenda to hear from.
Do we know the order of magnitude of this request? Is this something beyond the community benefit?
Exactly. The $15,000 community benefit grant would be nice, but it wouldn't come near. So think what you would pay for a groomer. Maybe you can help pay for a fire truck.
Okay.
So,
and that's something we could dip into both of our funds for.
You could.
Yeah.
That is correct. Yep. I just want to make you aware there's a number of maintenance issues that are being worked on right now all over. You may, if you travel down to the sheriff's office, you will note that that whole facility has been newly paved and striped. Striping is coming.
Yeah.
What's that?
Striping's not there.
That's right. You did travel over there.
I was right behind you.
Yeah. All the heating units in the entire courthouse building have been swapped out, so they're all new. And hopefully, when it gets cold enough, we'll see the benefit of that. We probably need to do some upgrades to stay in code with our fire suppression system in this building. There were some things that they mentioned in the inspection 2 years ago that needed to be fixed immediately, and others that they'll watch. Well, those things they've watched have gotten a little worse, so that would be about $7,000 to the sprinkler system.
5 years ago, 6 years ago.
What's that?
The new pump.
Didn't we just upgrade this about 5 or 6 years ago?
We put a new pump in 5 or 6 years ago, and we did the first inspection that's been done in many years of the entire system, all the sprinklers. So there's a few things that are seeping, a few things that are leaking that they need to basically replace.
New heads and whatnot.
Pardon me?
New heads.
The new heads are 2 years old, so it won't be a significant amount of new heads.
Okay.
So, there's a leak Over at the comm center, which is quite curious, in the bathroom floor, the public bathroom you see when you first walk in, water is seeping up from underneath the tiles. There is a radiant floor heat system in that building, and so it may have sprung sort of a leak. The only way to find out, and I give them credit, they've turned the heat off, but they're going to turn the heat back on Monday. Once the hot water starts going through, they're going to use their thermal cameras to find out where the hot water may be cooling, so they'll know where to dig. But no matter what you do, you got to dig it up, and so that's coming. So not too bad, but I just want to make you aware of those things. Spirit of America Awards, we've scheduled it for October 15th. So following your October 15th commissioners meeting, we will have a good crowd upstairs to recognize all of our Spirit of America recipients from towns throughout the county. It's another good sized group of people. So just mark your calendars for that at 6 p.m. And Commissioner Cezak and I will be attending the Maine County Commissioners Convention in Sebasco Harbor tomorrow and Friday. So a lot going on.
Thank you. Any questions? Finance reporting.
Today I supplied the auditors with their last request for documentation. They're still pushing to have our audit completed by the end of September. Heading down the road should have it done, so we're not 3 or 4 years behind what I count as. Currently, there's no requirement that is, let's say, in red. Of course, we've only completed 2 months out of the year. But, yeah. But, so right now we're looking at roughly $530,000 payable when it comes to the general fund. That's a little, don't rely on that number. You're going to see the timing in here. What that means is when we go through the budget process, we try as best as possible to put the expense in the correct month, so to help us with the cash flow analysis. But we don't always, meet that criteria. So we budgeted some expenses that the first 2 months that hasn't incurred yet, but will occur. So those savings don't count on that for the year end. We do have some labor savings throughout the budget so far, with $184,000 for the general fund savings so far with labor fund, and for the jail it's $155,000. So there is some labor savings there. But again, the first part of the year has lower labor rates. The last part of the year has higher labor rates. So some of that current favorable variance will erode as the year goes on.
Pat, I'm glad I'm not a county commissioner in a certain rural county, smaller than ours, I think, in population. Are you familiar with that situation? Are you from reading the newspapers?
Just what I've seen and reading in the paper. And personally, I can't see how.
How would that happen?
How it got that far out of control.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be an accountant. All you got to do is be able to balance the checkbook and figure that out.
But is the auditing process, is that something that would pick that stuff up?
Well, the thing is, the timing of the audit isn't just the auditors. The auditors request information, and if they're not receiving the information they need to do the audit, they can't complete the audit. So, not knowing this situation, I don't know if it's because they had a hard time getting auditors, or they just didn't have competent people to provide the auditors with the information they needed.
Well, it definitely gets your attention.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thanks.
So if I could piggyback on something that you'll see in your resolutions later. Sheriff is not here, Chief Mitchell's not here, and it kind of fits in with Patrick's report. Later on, you're going to have a resolution to allow the sheriff to buy 2 Ford F-150 police packages. One's a 2024 model, one's a 2025 model. These are both leftover new vehicles that Height Ford acquired from another dealer and offered to the sheriff. And because the sheriff is still trying to fill out his fleet, he thought it was a good opportunity to do it. So if you have any questions about that before the resolution, I'd be glad to answer it for you. From what I observed and went back and forth with Sam, I thought it was a pretty good opportunity for the sheriff.
Are these police packages?
They are.
Unknown caller.
And are these going to fill
Sorry, John.
what's been back ordered, or is this
So
all new?
I'm glad you brought that up. The good news is that all of our back orders are here. So we're no longer dealing with supply chain back order issues. All of the Tahoes that we raised money for are on the ground, and they're being lettered and they're being equipped and swapped out. In fact, I was over at the sheriff's office today, and they're working on getting the title ready to get all the paperwork done on those Tahoes. These two F-150s, I believe, they're going to incorporate into their patrol fleet, and then maybe not necessarily trade what they're taking out, but move some of those vehicles over to detectives and take some of the old stuff that the detectives have been driving and trading those in. So he's kind of filling holes in his fleet by doing this. I talked to Patrick about this. This does put the county in a fairly favorable situation going into next year's budget, where we should not have to raise a significant amount of capital to keep pace, because of everything being, 2/3 of his fleet is going to be a 24, 25, 26 model. So at this point, which is much better than we were 2 years ago.
Is this increasing the net number of motor vehicles?
No, that number stays the same.
Only if you add another position to create an additional.
It'd be interesting to know either how it's actually the mileage more than the age of the vehicle, how close those were to being replaced anyway in the near future.
Oh, everything that we're trading,
Well, no. So the on the end of the line, those two vehicles that you're talking about that will end up being traded, correct? I mean, how close were they to the next tranche of vehicles that we're going to need anyway?
Yeah, I think you'll see a significant difference. These are probably 2020, 2019, 2018 models. These were used. These were used as patrol vehicles before they were replaced by some of the Tahoes that come in, and so they're 110, 120,000 miles. Some of the old Silverados like that. I think it was a Silverado we traded on the work truck. Some of those Silverados that we had up in the in patrol were 2016 with 170,000 miles on it. So that will greatly reduce the sheriff's maintenance budget. So, and he's a stickler, man. I was at his meeting on Monday, and he's like, I just authorized $800 to fix leaky struts. Do not tell me we're trading this one in. And they said, no, we're keeping that one. So he's not paying for any maintenance on this.
David?
As Tim said about Wednesday's meeting with a lot of angry taxpayers, I came out very well from that meeting because I had a lot of sidebars with folks, and I had to tell everybody that they were going to have to vote in Moose River this fall because nobody would take the position. 10 minutes later, I was presented with a person who was willing to do the job, just moved into Rockwood, very bright, very much on the ball. I'm currently arranging for her training, which is going to be out in Presque Isle and all that. But it looks like we're going to make everybody up there happy. They can vote for Rockwood like they always have. Other things in Rockwood we have scheduled. The ash testing is going to be done next week. We've got that scheduled. We will be using our contractor, Dennis Bergon, Rockwood Excavation, with his excavator, and that's dropping the initial price of about $11,000, so they don't have to bring it up from the coast. And the retaining wall, we're buying the concrete blocks for the transfer station to get the retaining wall fixed and the rest of it reinforced in case it fails in the future. So that's what's going on.
Questions? All right. No unfinished business. New business, Resolution 25-156, to approve the commission of Adam Estabrook as Deputy Sheriff for the Somerset Sheriff's Office.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? To go. Resolution 25-157, to approve the recommissions of Detective Lieutenant Carl Gattari and Sergeant Joseph Jackson.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Let's go. Resolution 25-158, to accept the resignation of a shift supervisor at the Somerset County Jail.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
I would just add, and I apologize, I didn't get this into your package. This is Corporal Conrad Alt. He's been a long-time employee at the jail. He is pursuing another career. So he's given us 2-week notice. He is going to stay on as a reserve corrections officer. So he's leaving in good standing.
Yep. And we're all in favor. So. Resolution 25-159, to authorize the hire of Lucas Peavy, Timothy Nicholas Jr., Jordan Hammond, and Adam Corey as corrections officers at Somerset County Jail.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? To go. Resolution 25-160, to pay the following award for community benefit funds for completion of matching grant projects. Madison Recreation Department Ice Rink, $8,500.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? To go. Capital Reserve Expenditures, Resolution 25-161, to accept the bid for a work truck for the Somerset County Jail.
I move we accept the bid from Heights Chevrolet, Ford, but not including the extended warranty.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? To go. Resolution 25-162, to accept the offer to purchase 2 Ford 150 police package trucks.
I move we accept the offer, but I think we should read into the record the actual price of these trucks. I haven't referred it yet. I think it's in the $40,000 a piece range.
So the net price is, it was in that letter, I think, yeah. So the price for the 2024 model is $48,600. The 2025 model is $49,800. So we're also trading 2 vehicles, which that's where I scrutinized it a little bit, and I was like, okay, we're actually getting more for these trades than we were quoted in a previous deal that we allowed. So that's why I think that. So your net that you're voting on is $81,900.
And that's in the budget.
Yes.
And this is a situation where we would typically waive a extended competitive bidding process.
Why don't we have a second on this before we continue?
I'm sorry.
Second.
Thank you.
We have some policy theoretically that would prevent us from doing this, but we can waive it given the exigencies of.
We do. And our past practice has been when things that fit the need are presented to us, we bring it before the commissioners to see if they would accept it. We probably wouldn't have put these particular units out for RFP because we've been more along the Chevy Tahoes and those sort of things. But this certainly fits a need to get the fleet complete.
So for curiosity's sake, what is the difference between the asking price and the MSRP?
Sticker price was $55,500 for the 24, which had a little more equipment on it, is $55,600 for the 25.
And what was at the 40,000 range? And what were the prices again?
So the prices are just under 49, so it's about a $6,000, $6,500 off sticker. So, and one of the things I've come to realize is that when manufacturers run these through fleet sales, they don't necessarily get the same advertised rebates that they do for residential sales or non-commercial sales. However, when I researched trucks in general for my own personal use, Ford did not have a whole lot of incentives going on, so they must have built properly. So that's why my new truck is not Ford.
But I assume, I mean, this makes sense to me. I'm not opposed to this. I just want to make sure I understand what I'm doing. This is basically kind of, we'd be looking for these vehicles next year, or
We'd be looking to replace aging units in our fleet anyhow.
yeah,
And so this is an opportunity that came up.
but kind of get us ahead of the game.
And it does get you ahead of the game. And similarly, we've have these things budgeted for, but we budgeted $60,000 for these types of units that we're going to spend $40,000 on. And that actually saves us more money that we don't have to raise from taxation.
Any other questions or concerns? All in favor? To go. Thank you. Unorganized Territory, Resolution 25-163 to authorize an RFP for snow removal in Lexington Township.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Good. And warrants, Resolution 25-164 to approve the treasurer's warrant for general fund, Somerset County Jail, Unorganized Territories, and TIF Community Benefit for a total of $494,894.35.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Okay, thank you. And miscellaneous discussion items, commissioners only. All right. Recess to execute documents.
Let's execute.
Joel, was it about time?
It was.
Yeah, well done.
Before
You get the hang of this.
Somerset County.
Take me a while.
They would make all that decision, but also the Department of Transportation.
But you're a good coach, I appreciate it.
Folks here are authorized, from my understanding, that's because that section of county road, the DOT has to also approve it.
Do you have those signs?
I think that was the criteria that I was.
No one.
Availability of alternatives.
I do not.
Do they have them
I don't know
there?
if they've landed.
Yeah, there is.
I don't know
that's true now.
Yeah,
I know one of those guys
down
who says
the road,
it's,
like you said. They have cars
if it's not a state road,
I think we decided on that.
It's not
So through, he may say,
I do have it.
he may say HR or BQ.
We maintain our road.
All the way back to my house up there.
Just not sure if those are landed.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have the
That's all right. Well, I can get them over to
Yeah,
ASU.
back roads a lot.
they'll be a major contributor.
Authorizing one state road I think that stays that road, municipal, county.
And I have,
For motorized people.
Not just
Somerset referendum.
Correct.
Yeah, you leave the car down.
They, when trucker can't do it to the state, they get the one. So I think it stays. It's a.
And if you know,
You brought up some good points.
yeah,
I didn't, I
didn't
kind of
realize
stumbled over one of the words. There are things I didn't
shoulder.
get out when
We
I
had to
was
hire
saying, I had in my
someone
mind, but,
special because the original folks.
we all get along,
It
we
was
want
too
the,
steep.
we want the business
and
to
it
grow
would
with
drop off
ATVs and
from the top.
UTVs, but the thing
So
is,
we
right
actually
now,
hired someone
if
to
it comes
get
down
as good
to
as
the
they
2
are,
miles
and
of